So diplomatic fuel services seems to be very connected with this Ukrainian airline. And again, if you're Hillary Clinton coming into the White House, or excuse me, coming into the Secretary of State, you're going to go to the existing channel. So you're not going to develop a new diplomatic channel. And as I said, these 400-pound, half-inch thick steel containers could contain anything. And if people think they contain nuclear waste, they're not going to open them. Somehow, Benghazi happened. Somehow, Jonathan Weiner is a special representative for Libya. Again, with a Imran Awan Blackberry, encrypted Blackberry. Somehow, they got all those weapons to all the tribes in Libya. Same thing happened in Syria, Sudan, Yemen. These different places where these Petraeus notebooks, I call them, the seven Petraeus notebooks. And all of them were covert actions. So was diplomatic, freight services, fuel services, construction services, there's really like a dozen. Were they a part of that? Antonov Airlines a part of that. We know Silkway Airlines was part of it. We know Bijan Kian with his encrypted Blackberry was very involved in that. Again, he's the one who gives Faruqi and Mazan Faruqi the huge loan to do this diplomatic shipping. So again, we're digging down, just putting the facts out. I talked to the Secret Service officer out of the Washington field office. I just said, it's just a horrible shame. But if you look at the background and the metadata, you would think there would be some kind of academy that the Secret Service folks would go to. You would think there would be some kind of government email address associated with the person. There would be pictures. Now, the flight ops officer said that he met the president on Air Force One. She was a part of those details. She had moved up in the ranks. Stephanie Hancock had moved up in the ranks diplomatically to do the G20s, to do the G8s. She was an intimidating person as far as, keeping up with her. Not from being a mean person, but just from a, kind of superwoman kind of perspective. And her father has even more of a reputation that he's, this bigger, larger than life character with the Navy. So anyway, putting out the data here in Annapolis to get to the bottom of this, I'm not making any conclusions at this point. I just want people to know that she does graduate from the Virginia Nursing School. Most people who go into nursing end up as nurses. Most people end up going to medical school, end up being doctors. And the fact that she ends up being in the United States Secret Service with not a lot of time under her belt in government training or footprints that would lead you to believe like a Robin Gritz, where you have a picture with Louis Freeh congratulating you for finishing the academy and so forth. So we'll keep digging. We're here in Annapolis to get to the bottom of the story. We'll keep digging. Obviously, we're going to keep working on the Blackberry story. 16 of the 20 nations, 16 of the 20 G20 nations use Blackberry. Department of Homeland Security obviously uses Blackberries. Veterans Affairs, obviously FBI from the Peter Strzok saga and so forth. So the reason I went 2 years ago to Imran Awan's house to get the Blackberries was because it's the key to the backbone. There's no way to break the deep state. There's no way to break the intelligence network unless you go for the communications backbone. There's no other way. There's no other way. That's why I went there, and that's why this is still the key to the story with Flynn talking to Kian. You're going to see Bijan Kian talking to Faruqi and other associates involved with this diplomatic freight. You're going to see the people involved in the State Department that are doing these diplomatic freight shipments, quote unquote, USAID shipments and so forth, UN shipments. You're going to see they also are using encrypted Blackberries. So again, we talked about this a long time ago, but we went there 2 years ago to Waterloo, used to be Berlin, Canada. So we'll see. Again, just putting the information out for people and letting you make the decision.